Hey guys, I'm back with my next review of the Promised Land Diaries. I will be reviewing the second book of the diaries, The Laughing Princess of the Desert, The Diary of Sarah's Traveling Companion by Anne Adams. So thank you for joining me on this review, and I hope you enjoy it. This diary is about Rhoda as she grows up from the age of 7 to around 32, I would say. And she travels in the household of Abraham throughout this entire time. And she goes from when they first leave Haran, which is the city where Rhoda is from. And then they get to Canaan, and then they have to leave because a drought is happening. And then they come back to the land, and then their life continues on from there. So this diary is split in 3 different parts. The first part takes place, it's the beginning where Rhoda is leaving Haran, and they get to Canaan, stay there for a while, but then go to Egypt and then come back. And throughout this time, Rhoda is 7 years old, and her diary, it's really good. Of course, this book is really good, and she records everything that happened there. And then the second part actually takes place 10 years after the first part, is during Hagar's pregnancy. So Sarai insists that Abram gets together with Hagar and then has Ishmael, and then she thinks that Ishmael will be the child of the covenant that God promised them. And so because of that, there's a lot of tension in the camp when Ishmael is born, but they kind of have to let it go. And then the third part is about 13 years later after this. And then God comes along with 2 angels and says, hey, in 1 year you will be pregnant with Isaac. He doesn't say Isaac, but it's technically you'll be pregnant with Isaac. And then Sodom and Gomorrah gets destroyed and all of that stuff. And then Isaac is born, and then that's where the story ends. But yeah, so overall this book is good because Rhoda, throughout it, she actually writes in it as if it was a diary, because sometimes she says, oh yeah, I can't write right now, but I will write later about everything that happened. And then as she's writing down, she says, I really want to remember this in case my children will read it in the future and stuff like that. And it's really good because a lot of characters that do diary stuff usually write that in books. So it's a really good diary, and it feels a whole lot more legitimate, like a legit diary. So that's really good, of course. But after that, I wouldn't say anything else about this book. It's just that it's one of the best ones, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 9 in this series. Of course, I would probably give it a 10 if I don't know other books, because I think I want to save that 10 for other books in case those might be better than this one. But if they're not as good, then I'll come back and say, hey, Laughing Princess of the Desert was the best book, because this really is like up high in the best books of this series. And I would say the last book, Persia's Brightest Star, by the same author, is like the lowest worst book. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this shorter review, and I decided to re-record it because I kept getting copyright flagged, even though I gave credit every single step of the way, or I give credit as much as I could give credit. I gave it, and I kept getting copyright claimed, so I decided to re-record this. So yeah, thank you for watching this, and the next book I will be reviewing will be the third book, Priceless Jewel at the Well, The Diary of Rebecca's Nursemaid by same author, Anne Adams. Thank you for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and come back for my next video, for my next review of Priceless Jewel at the Well. Thank you!